Hey everybody, welcome back to Ryan Makes Sense, where we talk about personal finance, investing, and chart analysis. Today we're going to be looking at ticker symbol SE. They actually had earnings this morning, and I actually want to see if the company should be valued around $51 per share, or if it's going to be going higher or lower, if it deserves that, either direction. See if institutions have been buying or selling, insiders buying or selling. And also we'll do some charting and check out key levels of support and resistance. So without further ado, let's jump on in and consider hitting the like and the subscribe and leave a comment if you like. All right, we are on finviz.com and we landed on the daily chart. If you look right here, we have this huge gap and the stock price closed at around $51.05 on Friday. We are, when I say we, I mean the general. The stock is around $4.43 away from filling the gap. So the first thing that comes to my head is, okay, is it gonna shoot up to fill that gap, and then is it gonna tank back down, or is it just gonna rocket ship up and close that gap? All good questions. But if you know me, I like to look at the bigger picture and then drill down. So wow, the stock back in 2019 went from $11 to 372. Pretty epic. And it looks like the stock has recessed. We have $41 as the low, bounced up, went to around 86.55, created a new low, 36.55, and maybe this is another high of 49. So we're getting higher lows and lower highs. So here's a low around the bottom, and here's another low, and you can see that they're getting lower, and the highs are getting lower. So here's our high, and then here's a potential high. But let's look at the financial data points. Maybe the stock needs to be worth $100 or $20. Okay, so looking at the strength on the monthly, you can see this is actually coming upwards. It does look like it's in a clear direction up. The monthly MACD momentum actually, looks like it's been kind of flat, honestly, for about August 2023. So it's kind of been flat. It looks like it could probably maybe go up. We'll see. Money flow is going down. That is interesting. Very interesting. And the relative momentum honestly looks like it's scraping the bottom of the barrel, getting the last little pieces of sediment. If you look really close, you can kind of see it's kind of turning up, but based off of this, the strength looks weak. Momentum looks kind of weak. Money flow looks like it came up and it looks like it's going down possibly. And the relative momentum honestly just looks like it's sleeping. So based off of this, I expect a very quiet earnings or a blowout earnings. So we need an explosive move or nothing at all, because honestly, it looks like it's sleeping. Right here, momentum's not doing much. The relative strength is kind of just hanging out. Money flow is decreasing over the last 7-8 months. And the relative momentum is kind of just chilling. So based on that, let's look at the financials here, but really quickly. The sales here are amazing. You want to see that. Earnings per share, it looks like it's kind of getting better. Still not good. Shares outstanding, you can see there is dilution. 2018, they had 190 million shares outstanding. 2022, they have 519 million. Do the math there. That's a lot of extra shares added to the pool. So when you think about supply and demand, if the demand's been consistent but the supply keeps increasing, yeah. Okay, just really quickly looking here, the price to earnings is a bit expensive at 45, and it looks like the forward price to earnings, meaning if they have the same guidance momentum as they do now, and looking at next year's guidance or upcoming guidance, it's going to get even more expensive. Excuse me. So little bit of a red flag there. Earnings per share this year, great. Earnings per share next year, this could solely be because they have not posted earnings yet, or they have not posted guidance, and this is their first earnings call of the year. So this could easily be changed. Sales over the past 5 years, very strong, 104%. Earnings per share year over year, 125%, amazing. Sales year over year, 5.9%. Earnings quarter over quarter, 73. That's really good. These are all really strong data points here. Gross margins are 46%. That is the likes of an extremely high growth quality stock. So really good there. They are profitable. A lot of shares floating, available to the public. So let's go ahead and run my calculation to see what the stock price could be worth. And while we wait for things to load and I type while I talk, I worked at a micro cap company, and we had financial regulators come in, and essentially they priced our stock. Every $100 million in sales was $1 in stock price. So that's what I've carried over. So when the market cap is over 1 billion, I do include it in the stock price, because that's when you have big money, big dollars, big hedge funds, big institutions, big banks, people with money dumping in, and that definitely affects the stock price. So we have 26.51 million here listed. I add the income, which is 689,320,000. That's billions. 689,320,000. Yep. And the sales of 12,920,000,000. All right. No dividend, but I think they could do a dividend if they really, really wanted to. So we have this. Now we're going to add the cash and remove the debt. Before I do that, total assets 17 billion, total liabilities 11 billion. Not bad, not bad. I would like to see a 2-to-1 onward. So if you have total assets of 17 billion, I'd want to see around 8.6 billion down here. So it's a comfortable 2-to-1. 11.2 is not bad, but anyway, they have 6 billion in cash, so we're going to add that, plus 6 billion, 29,860,000. Correct. Removing total debt of 4 billion, 789,770,000. Yes. All right, and just looking quickly, the total debt is really high. That's pretty high. 4.7 billion compared to 3.5 billion compared to 1.8 billion year over year. Cash reserves, this is decent compared to the last few years. So now we're going to go up and take this, and we're going to divide it by the shares available, which is going to be divided by 510,070,000. So possible stock price of $81.08. Let's see what analysts have. 40, 105 down to 92, 105, 75. So my my price target or calculation is not too far off, which is normally fine. Stocks at 51. Let's go ahead and see what institutions and hedge funds are doing. Not Sedge. Come on, SE. Okay. So what I'm doing now is looking at the most recent data. This website is updated every day. It gets 13F filing forms in if an institution or hedge fund purchases or sells any stock. It shows up here versus when I'm on FinViz, and I'll show you right here. FinViz generally updates. I don't know if it's every week. They're kind of lacking on that, but they've been improving. So they're saying institutions own 57%. That's old data. New data shows that they own 57.67. So barely an increase. So again, it's just kind of like a sleep at the wheel kind of situation, it feels like. Looking here, FMR LLC just added 27 million shares. Capital Research sold 40 million shares. Yi Zhang sold a little bit. Bally Giffords bought 34 million shares. Li Xiaodong purchased around 8 million more shares. Price to your own associates, sold about 7 million shares. And then just going down here, I'm surprised we didn't see any Vanguard or BlackRock, honestly. Oh, here's BlackRock. Okay, so they do have some positions. And you can see a lot of 13F filings in the near or last couple days. So I do trust that site, and it's, again, relatively flat compared to this data here. So let's go ahead and just chart this out really quick. This is Bitcoin. We don't want to see Bitcoin. All right. So ticker symbol SE. I'm going to go ahead and do a few things here, and I'll try and explain as I go. This is Fibonacci ARCs. We have a low of $10.06 right here with a high of 372.70. Perfect. Awesome. So this basically just looks at frames over time. We have our outer ring, middle ring, inner ring. You can see at each situation it's treated differently. So this comes up, this candle comes next to it, this one breaks through, this one acts as resistance, then it breaks up, goes ahead, tests it. This acts as support. This tests it, acts as support. This goes ahead and breaks through, goes all the way down to the inner ring. This next candle comes up and tests this ring. This candle bounces as support. The next candle falls right through. So we've gone through that Fibonacci arc cycle. Now, we go from the very tip top of 372.70, and we're going with the assumption, we don't like to assume, but we're going to say the low of the low has already been put in for this stock. And this is just to see if this is true. There should be some good respect of candles, which probably doesn't make sense right now, but let me just see. So the low here was 35.07. The low here was 34.35. Low here was 34.87. So I think this candle, 34.35. 34. I just need to go and adjust it really quick. Perfect. Okay. So we can see this Fibonacci arc cycle. It definitely tests this outer ring. You can see it's, I don't want to say it's baking in the price action, but it's respecting this ring that wasn't even created. It's touching the outer ring, and when I say it's this candle right here, you can see the candle comes and touches this outer ring that I just created. Our middle ring that I just created, you can see gets tested again by this candle, and our inner ring gets tested by this candle as support. Tries to break through, it can't. So I think we've got a lot of open space down here, but let's go ahead and just chart out key supports and resistances here. All right, so our low of the low is 10.06. So here is our bear bottom. I mean, you know, of the candles. So what I just did, I created a support resistance channel, and I chose those specific areas because this very bottom blue candle, or I'm sorry, this very bottom blue line that I just drew, the stock has never, ever, ever crossed below it. Every time it's touched it, it has always gone up. And this top candle here acts as confirmation. So if we go to the very start, it gets tested once as resistance, tested twice as resistance, tested 3 times as resistance, comes down, tested again 4 times as resistance, and then it flips to support. So we have established that there is a good support and a good resistance. And you can actually see right here, this this channel, we could even go 10, let me just, 10.06, not 10.08. Okay, we can go back here to 10.06. And I can create another channel like this. and like that. So what I just did now, I created another, let me just change the color so we can see them actually a little bit better. So this channel that I just created, this bottom lower orange, the stock price has never fallen below and not recovered. The same is true for this blue one. It did fall through. You can see right here. It fell through, but it immediately came back up and went through, again, this historic cycle. Then these candles right here all tested once, twice, 3, 4, 5, tested 5 times. And it is moving its way up at the moment. So that is some good support and resistance levels for now. And let's just go ahead and what I'm doing here is, we got space. I'm trying to identify what channel, but it doesn't need to be a channel. This could be just a guiding line. So right here, this guiding line, the stock bounced off once, twice, 3 times, then came down. It was tested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So the ideal goal would be for this stock to, it came up, acted as support, came down, acted as support, turned to resistance. And now to see it play out like this, to come back up and test this eventually. One key level that we're going to want to watch. Let's do, yeah, there we go. So one key level we're going to want to watch is the $57 area. Again, it would fill that gap that we looked at earlier if it just came up and touched this and then retreated. So I would say 57 could be a fair short-term confirmation. Long-term, again, the stock is around 51 and it looks like it could possibly go to 80 based on my calculation. But we do just want to note this EPS trend is not good, and also they're diluting shareholders every year by 100 million shares almost, it looks like, from 2021 to 2022. So yeah, it all just depends on how their earnings go and what their guidance is. If there's any weakness, could not be good. Again, if we go to their revenue, excuse me, let's look at the quarterly. What we're going to want to see for Monday's numbers, we definitely want to see over 3. They've had 3.1, 3.4, 3.0, 3.0, 3.3. I would say we want to see 3.3, 3.2 to 3.3 or better. Their cost of, they spend 1.8 billion to make 3.3 billion. That's a pretty good margin there. Net income's negative, so what's their profitability? Their profit margin's pretty slim, 5%, so they could go unprofitable this upcoming quarter. Let's see. It's going to be, they're going to report for 12/20/23, so historically it's been a positive quarter, historically been a net. So it's a mix. It's pretty close. Again, we're going to need an explosive beat. Otherwise, I think we might see it go to 57 and then retrace back down. And I say 57 because that's what our charts tell us. And this gap right here is around 56. So yeah, that's kind of all I have for you guys. I guess on the bullish optimistic side, I would say 81. On the bearish side, I would say we could probably test I say 41 as a test as the short to midterm. Long term, we could test 36 if this goes down. So Keep that in mind. Let's just draw some more really quick. We're also in this downward channel, pretty crazy. Let's see. Wow, look how strong this channel is that I just drew here. Extend to the right, channel 5. Let's make it a different color. No, that's gonna be hard to see. Make it white, make it thick. This channel right here, deadly. Right here, you can see it established early on. A channel right perfectly. Resistance, resistance, support. Support falls through. Almost comes and tests it. Support, support, resistance, 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 support, support. This could be interesting. So, yeah. I don't have a position. I used to have a position, but I sold around the 30s. So best of luck. Let me know your thoughts. I think long term, if you have, let's see, I would say the big apex is going to be right here. Whoops. Sorry about that. Apex, again, where a lot of movement. It needs to break up above $70, in my opinion, to continue moving onward. So will it stay in this white channel like it has been for the last, wow, almost 2 years? It's been in this downward channel. Will it stay in this downward channel, or will it break out of this long-term channel that's been established since 2018? So again, this is our apex. I think either up or down, just dependent. It'll be interesting. This was a long video. Thank you for watching. Consider hitting the like, considering subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.